everybody, this is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David, and this is our last day for a month because I wing away to the other side of the world tonight. Not looking forward to that. I think I'd rather be on a slow boat. But anyway, off for a month, and David will be here keeping the house warm. Well, there's a bit of news to report. We haven't heard from Quintessa this morning, but hopefully he will come up to plot his position along the way to French Polynesia. And we've got Ialea coming behind him, doing rather well. They've got 15 knots from the west, so a bit of wind around now. Those folk that left a few days ago to get to Minerva are probably happy about that. They're at 33 and 17826 east, and it sounds quite good. I happened to notice a temperature report from somebody. Oh, it was Scoots, I think it was. It's not all that warm out there, but I guess, well, they were commenting the reason for the temperature was that the water was warmer than the temperature. I had to convert it to modern degrees, but it was 21.6 in the air and a bit warmer in the sea. So that's not all that tropical, really, is it? I want to start with a very, very big thank you to Beth on Eagle's Wings. I mentioned the other day the problem with the Google-inspired need for a security certificate for the website, and I decided I wasn't going to pay the fees that they were asking, both the web hosting provider and my management folk that do the web. And Beth, who is rather skilled in this area, worked out how you get it for free. So that's all been done with a very, very big thank you to Beth on Eagle's Wings. I think she taught our web management people quite a lot about things too. Mind you, they're not exactly trained in IT type stuff. I think they started life as architects and decided to move careers. But anyway, a very, very big thank you to Beth. We now have a secure website, so you won't get any silly messages on the website if you go on to download things like the weather papers, which I'm sure you're going to be studying up on when we're away. Other bits of news, there is a very large zinc carrying Thorco ship aground in French Polynesia on Rauroria Atoll. How it managed to get on the atoll on its trip from Baltimore to Hobart, God only knows.
Dangerous
It's
archipelago.
132 meters long. Yes, they call it the dangerous archipelago, and that's, I guess, will be fixed in the crew's minds. It's in the Makimo group, which is at 1556 south and 14219 west. I don't think too many of you people will have any problem with that. It'll be quite interesting waiting to see it be towed off. There's a big tow coming from America, I think, plus another one. So it's exciting looking picture, actually. It looks rather good. What else have we got? Oh, very interesting news from France. French butchers have pleaded with police for protection against vegans. Now, some of you who have been around a while know that David and I have been vegan for a couple of years in the hope that it might improve his blood vessels. It didn't actually, but anyway, we're back to normal food now. But the French butchers are having a lot of trouble with vegans. They are spreading terror amongst meat lovers. Butchers are coming under fire physically, verbally, and morally with attacks from vegans. And a rotisserie was vandalised a day or so ago. It was the fourth one that had been vandalised by these militant vegans. God, what's the world coming to? Meanwhile, the New Zealand lamb exports have hit a new high in May, and meat exports in general are up 17%. So I guess there's other parts of the world like China who are haven't struck the vegan cancel that word, haven't had the vegan uprising just yet. Bit of news for New Zealanders, Graham Hart, who is our richest man in New Zealand, and his son Henry, they have a company called Walker and Wild, I think it is, Anyway, they have purchased Hubbard's Foods, they're all the muesli people, and Greg's Sauces, and they're putting that together with capsules that they recently bought. So all these iconic New Zealand food places will stay New Zealand owned, one of the few, I might add. It has been confirmed that Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin will meet in July. Told you that yesterday. But very big news from the USA. A Supreme Court judge has just announced his retirement. He's Anthony Kennedy, 81, and he was rather a key player in the group. He sort of was the mid-man, I guess it was, between the left and the right, the really traditionalists who we are now unfortunately going to get another one of. There will be a conservative appointment. Mr. Kennedy was appointed under the Reagan reign, and he was very useful. But now, of course, we're going to have to re-see all of the things like abortion and so on and so forth. So that's going to diffuse a lot of Mr. Trump's rantings and ravings. But that's really not very good news. Anyway, and I know you don't want to hear about the World Cup, but South Korea I'm talking about, actually beat Germany, and now Germany, who were expected to be in the final, are now out of the World Cup. There have been a lot of surprises in the World Cup. Unfortunately, when I'm in St. Petersburg, I managed to coincide with the third place playoff. But I guess those people that are there for the third place playoff in St. Petersburg are not going to be at the places that I'm at. All right, now let's see. There have been some nice sailing reports from those that left to go up to Minerva. I'm just going to give a call for Quintessa, and we'll see if Villamy can copy you. Alan, you on frequency? Nothing heard. Villamy, would you mind giving a call?
Quintessa, Villamy, got it, copy, Alan. No, nothing heard, Professor.
Yeah, well, we'll have to give him a call after the weather, see if we can raise him.
The wind's not too bad.
The wind's not too bad, so I'm not sure what he might be doing. Maybe pulling in a fish. There is a report from 2C2 here. He wouldn't want to pull in a fish because he caught a 30-kilogram yellowfin tuna. So the freezer is full. They are back in Papeete. Actually, Helen is back over here for a few days before going back with the family. And he was raving about TOA. That's Tango Oscar Alpha Uniform. Boy, that's a lot of vowels, isn't there? With some of the best clarity and fish varieties that he's ever seen. Coming from Mike, that's quite a compliment. And the Tuamotu's there. All right, is there anybody wanting to join Gulf Harbour Radio? Please call. Well, we should have taken today off. David said we should take today off, seeing as I was leaving tonight. Thank you, by the way, to those who have sent greetings for my trip. I could have slept in earlier this morning. I'll just scan through the Yit site. Another adventure still in Port Olry, probably until Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably waiting for those strong winds to die down. It's south-southeast there, 10 to 15 and gusty. But it's a very well-protected anchorage. Sarani over there in New Caledonia are going to head to Kumak today. It's pretty calm there now, so that's good. And Villamy down there is blowing in Falanga 15 to 20, 50% cloud cover. And up there from Obsession, who were busy doing washing yesterday because of all that water that arrived. That's at 1843174 west. Southeast 5 to 10, so things have moderated there. But Cable's length too, they're at 20 and 176, have got 24 from the southeast. So they're ripping along at 8.5 knots. And what a bit of luck, their Windex fell off yesterday. Now, Windexes usually just disappear into the water, but they managed to find theirs on the deck. that was a bit of good luck, isn't it? Because you don't find a replacement Windex up in the islands. I can confirm that. And yep, the Scoots sensing the barn. They are actually up at 2138 and 17841. They're really going well, 7.8 knots. Pretty cool though, so that's interesting. All right, nothing much else here to report. I think I've talked about the other ones. I'll just give another call for Quintessa. And I'd really like to hear Ocean Fever. If there's anybody from Nui Tupatapu, I'd really like to hear that Barney got into Nui Tupatapu. These single-handers that we've got, we do like to keep an eye on, folks, so I am concerned that we haven't heard from Ocean Fever. So if anyone's got information from Nui Tupatapu, please come now. I will need a relay for that. Hopefully you're near the radio, Trevor. Could that person go ahead again, please?
Okay, did you copy me of that, Patricia?
Negative.
Okay, that was Andrew and I, Candy, saying that you got a report through the body magnet that was supposed to arrive and you got up to safely.
Oh, thank you very much, Andrew. Yeah, you were coming in and out, not enough to really copy clearly. Okay, thank you for that. So we'll position Ocean Fever at Nui Tupatapu. And Andrew is enjoying Saguaro. I think they're going to hold out there until it calms down a bit on the edge of the big high. But you couldn't pick a better place to be hanging out, can you? Andrew, what are the conditions there at the moment? Over.
Right, northeast, less than 5 knots,
Okay, how many boats in Saguaro at the moment? Oh, that's not too bad, is it? So Saguaro calm, light northeasterlies, less than 5 in fact, cloudy, and there are 6 boats in Saguaro. Okay, thank you for that. And I'm sure there's a... Oh, I wonder if you've found David's spear gun yet. David decided to forego his spear gun when about what seemed to be 1,000 grey sharks descended upon the fish that had the spear gun in it. It had trapped itself in a little hole in the rocks when he was diving. So it was really quite funny watching them all arrive. The minute the fish made a bit of a noise, the grey sharks came for miles. They hadn't been seen. And then at the extreme of the grey shark, all of the black tips gathered. It was really quite a pecking order. It was quite interesting to see. All I had was my head in the water from the dinghy. There's no way I was going to join the mob. Anyway, here's David with the weather.
And I remember that very well. I speared the fish. Wasn't a real good shot, unfortunately. But boy, these greys came in from literally out of nowhere. There were dozens of them. And they were coming at me as well. I dropped the gun, just let it go in the water, and they attacked the gun. They just chewed it up. You wouldn't believe the force in those teeth. Yeah, we out of the water. Never did get the fish. Okay, good morning, everyone. And well, this is the last one for a while, unless you email me with questions. And the most important feature today is the very nice upper level ridge. Now the axis at 500 millibars is pretty much over the mid-Tasman, but we do have a tiny shortwave trough that's poking just into our high remains over New Zealand, turns into a really big mountain of air. The central pressure probably 1033, 1034. This is Saturday, late Saturday. Now, by lunch Sunday, we do have a frontal band that's going to lie to the bottom of the North Island. and it's going to extend to Harvey Bay, and all that's part of that small depression that wound up forming a few days prior. Now, the high center is going to be located around 32 south and the date line, so it will have shifted a little bit to the east. Not very much, just a little bit. It's still very strong, frogged to be quite add 50 to 50% for gusts. Now, Minerva, if you're hanging out in Minerva, by then you should be enjoying some easterlies, about 15 to 20 knots. Now, nearly everyone, I should say, that left New Zealand last Friday or Saturday should be at anchor at this point. Or if you're not at anchor, you're pretty close to doing it. So all in all, this has been, in my opinion, a pretty good passage. I hope for most of you yachts. Some may disagree, but I think it was a pretty good run. Okay, looking up in the tropics, the islands up there, we've got a trough that runs again from the Solomons. It goes through Vanuatu now. Another trough, which has been fairly weak, has now been invigorated by some upper level activity, and it runs from the Santa Cruz Islands right over Rotuma, and then Wallis, and then Samoa, and goes eastward from there. Clouds from this trough do affect Fiji and Tonga. It's a fairly broad effect this particular trough has. So far, Tonga can expect cloudy periods because of that, and scattered showers as well. I found some tides for you. High tide 0810, 8:10 this morning, and a low this afternoon 14:38, 2:38 in the afternoon. Now, the reports have been as well from the airports. We expect southeast 25 to 30, and they'll be increasing to 35 knots. And Fiji Met is pulling up very rough to high seas. Now, this is the first time this season that I've heard them use high seas. And before any of you ask what the high seas are, that basically are seas that are over 6 meters. So out in the open water does not sound very good. Okay, radar. Again, most of them are working except for Nandi, and they show scattered showers here and there, particularly over Vanua Levu, but most frequently for east anchored or sheltered folks. These are very, very initial, so hopefully they'll get. New Caledonia this morning on imagery shows a very wet cloud band over the island. Clouds are moving fairly fast west to east, the upper clouds. The winds by lunch, easterlies, we'll call it 15 to 20, 22 knots. Toward dinner, showers are going to be more prevalent, and the winds are still more or less easterlies, about 20 knots. Now watch out for Saturday in the southern lagoon. The easterlies are going to increase and expect 20 to 30 knots. And they are expected to increase to 35 knots by dinner time. So there you go. If you're anchored, remember, chain left in the chain locker doesn't do any good. So get it out there and don't drag. Okay, that's all I've got on this last day for a while. Again, I will be available on the email. So if you have
so cancel what I said about it being clear. It is 100% a light cover. All right. I would like to find Quintessa. Is there anybody else? Oh, can hardly hear you this morning, Bill. Liberation. Are you anchored down? Okay. You'll laugh if you saw how I'm spelling this. Give me a position. And the conditions and course and speed.
southeast, 90% cloud cover. All of the output cloud is about 2802 orbit. And then we'll be following the coastline northwest.
All right, you'll be heading up there, northwest general direction, 1735 and 17834 east, folks, 18 to 20 southeast. So that'll get the cobwebs off the sails. 90% cloud cover there. Thanks, Bill. Have a good visit there and an enjoyable month. And we'll see you in a month. Over. Yeah, thanks, Bill. Hopefully, have the energy. All right, clear with Liberation. Is there anybody else?
This is Code Blue.
Oh, Code Blue. Good morning, Judy. Where have you got to? Didn't hear you yesterday.
Our position is 2345 degrees south, 17706 degrees east. Do you copy?
Yeah, you are absolutely blowing my radio off the shelf. Best I've heard you. Go ahead.
Okay, our heading is 010 magnetic at 5 knots. We have 15 to 20 knots of wind from the southeast, about 90% cloud cover. The barometer is 1017 and about 2 meter seas. Over.
Okay, so at 2345 and 17706 east, pretty much the same conditions Bill had. They have got 15 to 20. From the southeast, 90% of cloud cover, 1017 on the bar, and 2 meter seas, hopefully from pretty much the same direction. So you're moving along. And whereabouts did you say you were going into?
We're going to go into Suva, Fiji. So we're going to enter some wind.
Okay, Suva. All righty. All right. So, but you can report on that one. So. All right. Sounds as if all is well on board. Over.
Well on board, except our autopilot isn't working, but we do have some backup sources.
Yeah, it's always good, isn't it, to at least not have to sit there. So hopefully, there's been a few autopilot problems. Boy, you really get to really consider that autopilot as your third crew person, and a very valuable one it is too.
Required by insurance on our boat.
Yeah, we have to have a autopilot. In fact, we've got two. If one craps out, we've got a complete set from the rudder right through to the computer, just because it's so important. All right, clear with Code Blue. And is there anybody else? Okay, just stand by, folks. We've got Villamy to talk to Quintessa. Good morning, Alan. About time you woke up. Go ahead. Trevor is copying you. Over. Roger.
knots. Got a south-southwesterly of breeze at the bar at 1011. I think he said 2% cloud cover. 1.5 meters southwesterly and 12 miles at sea. So that'll roger there, Alex. Roger. Okay, did you copy that?
Yeah, thank you, Trevor. I got the second part of it. Well, I didn't get the south-southwest. I got southwest, but I didn't get any of the Latin long. So David's just having a look at that now.
Is that 26 right?
So could you just confirm the 26? Hang on a minute. I'm just looking at where he was yesterday. Just wanted to confirm. Yep, I think it would be because he was 27.5 yesterday. So 2616 and 14859. So that's what I heard anyway. Trevor, over.
Tomorrow lunch northwest 15.
Okay, Alan. Tomorrow lunch northwest 15. Northwest 15. So you'll have to do a bit of sail work there between now and then. And Trevor will be talking to you in the morning. I think you've agreed on 7 o'clock. Is that right, Trevor? Over. Okay, thank you for that, Trevor. Much appreciated. Yeah, it comes and goes, and it would take a long time if I had to do it myself. All right, there was somebody in behind Quintessa. Who was that? Oh, there's a couple there. First of all, we'll take Arca and then Gracious Lady. Arca, go ahead.
Yeah, just to report, I'm 20 miles south of North Minerva. Yeah, South Minerva is clear. North Minerva has squalls. And the wind is being pulled by the squalls to southeast about 10 to 15 knots over.
That's useful for everybody. Thank you. So Arca is 20 miles south of North Minerva. The south area is clear. The North Minerva area is squally, which is causing a bit of up and down wind. Southeast 10 to 15. You are at South Minerva, I think, aren't you? Over.
No, I just passed it.
Oh, okay. Are you going to stop or carry on?
No, I'm going in the north. Another boat right in front of me called Danica, about 3 miles in front of me. I think there's probably at least 3 or 4 boats in Minerva already, over.
Oh, roger that. Thank you for that. If there's anybody wanting anything from you boats at North Minerva, let us know. Interesting satellite picture around that area at the moment. All right. So did you cover North Minerva and onwards in your talking?
I touched it.
Touched it. So, all right.
If they want information, what do they want?
Yeah. It sounds like everybody's happy there, and good light southeast trades 10 to 15. All right, thank you for that report. You are absolutely booming in here. I'll just see if there's anybody else wanting anything before I pick up Gracious Lady. Anybody wanting anything for around that Minerva area, please call.
Midnight Sun?
Oh, hello, Midnight Sun. God, you guys are as old as we are. Well, in terms of being out in the ocean there. Go ahead.
Morning, Patricia and Dave. Yeah, very a lot older than the offshore. Sounds very good on the radio. We know it's North Minerva, and there's 8 boats in here at the moment. And the interesting is that a lot of us here are going away, of course, because of the strong wind around Fiji over the weekend. But it's the DFS model shows a low forming at the port. If they've got any advice on that, and the other model's showing that, there'll be next week's about that. Over.
Yeah, Roger that. I think he did mutter something to me about July 4th, which of course for him is a rather significant date. July 4th. So just to repeat it for him, there are 8 boats in Minerva, and could you comment please on the potential for the low to form on July 4th? GFS always sort of wraps things up a bit, so if you can have a look at different models and comment on the trip north, because I don't think they want headwinds. Can't imagine why. Here's David.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wishes for headwinds. Anyway, looking at July 4th around lunchtime in the Minerva Reef area, and looking at Friday, which should get you pretty close to Tongatapu, the same direction, southeast. I don't see any headwinds at all, but I do see convective activity. So there could very well be a trough in there. The trough could be over Tongatapu at that point. So you will have stronger winds and squalls, but other Minerva, looking at the 5th in the direction of Fiji, no problems at all in terms of wind direction, southeast about 15 to 20. Looking at Thursday, you'll have to give me your ETA, but looking at Thursday, the winds pick up. They're looking at about 20 knots out of the southeast, and this is at 20 and the date line, 20 and the date line. Southeast winds, a good 20, maybe 25. Convective activity there. And looking at the 6th, right at that point, again, 20 in the date line. Southeast still about 20 knots, 15 to 20. And again, convective activity. And whenever I say that, convective activity, that means squalls. And that always means winds up to 30 or more knots. And some of these squalls could last up to a half an hour, but usually just a few minutes. And very well could be a trough that runs through Fiji at that point. So on the 4th, or before the 4th, if you want to drop me an email, I'll be happy to take a look at it. Over.
Roger that. Well, thank you very much, Dave. Very much appreciated. And that all sounds a lot better than what I interpreted from the GFS last night. So maybe GFS is being a bit aggressive with that mode. Okay, thank you very much. And Patricia, you have a good trip. And I hope you survive, Dave.
He's got a lot of instructions building up here. I was just going to ask the question, what about if they left a bit earlier, because the 4th is quite a ways away. 30 days. Oh yes, it's quite a ways away. What about if they leave a little bit earlier?
Too much wind.
Too much wind. Okay, too much wind. Okay, so you can all have a good time. Boy, 8 boats and another one coming. So it'll be quite a party in North Minerva. A bit of wind around, but we've got tons of space. All right, gracious lady, Gulf Harbour. Oh, you're just almost fading away, but I think you'll still be in Uraparapara, and you are looking, I think I heard the word Sunday, to head north to Torres. I'm just going to ask David for a report on that. So in Uraparapara, looking at leaving Sunday. If that is correct, could you give me a Roger? Oh, that's good. Such a useful term, isn't it, Roger?
Yeah.
Don't know how these Aussies got into Romeo. But anyway, here's gracious lady and looking at heading north.
All right. However, the wind outside of Uraparapara will be southeast all the way to Torres. And so we are looking at 30 to 35 knots then. Over.
Yeah, there was a question there, but I don't know what it was. Are you looking for some sort of look into the future? Over. Yeah, into the future. They don't have email.
Hold on.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm just passing the microphone and just looking to see that Cosmo and Legacy have arrived at Minerva. So that was a pretty good trip for you guys. Cosmo came from Tauranga, so a good trip for you guys. They're celebrating with kombucha and veal. I have no idea what kombucha is. I must look that up. Anyway, get back to Uraparapara. Here's David.
Well, I think if you wait until Wednesday of next week, all of this will be gone, and the winds are going to be very, very pleasant. In fact, the Torres ought to be quite pleasant as well. We're looking at southeast winds, maybe 10 to 15. Very nice. Over.
Yeah, I think the family would much prefer the wait until Wednesday. You'll just have to get them hiking, maybe go to the school. Nice school at Uraparapara. Bit of a hike to get to it, but
Go to the clinic halfway up the hill.
Yeah, no, the clinic. You're thinking of a different place.
Oh.
Yeah, no. See how he's getting confused in his old age. I don't know how he's going to look after himself for a whole month, but anyway. And I've just looked up kombucha. It's a variety of fermented, lightly effervescent, sweetened black or green tea. Well, that sounds interesting. Might give that a go myself. All right. Is there anybody else? So Malua is back in business from Australia. It's a pretty good trip though. 19th of June you left. Arrived Monday night. And eye candy. I hope you can copy that you're wanted for a telecom after the next. So stay put. All right. I think that's the last of things anyway. I think this is the last of the net. Is there anybody else? Oh, I got confused at that one. You're clear enough, but I can't work out the boat name. Go ahead again. Oh, Tumbleweed. Good morning to you. Whereabouts are you? Yeah, I'm not getting that very clearly. I've got 17-something-54 east, and I have not got the latitude. Just go ahead again a little slowly.
4 degrees.
And carry on 17-something-54 east.
17854.
Okay, you're coming through well now. Carry on.
We changed destination to Minerva. We were headed for Fiji. The conditions will be bad for our arrival. Our course is 60 degrees true. Speed over ground 4 knots. Wind is 13 knots south-southeast. Seas slow. Flow is under 1 meter. Cloud cover 75%. Barometer 1024. All is well on board. Over.
Yeah, I've got very good copy on you now. So you're on your way to join the party at Minerva. And don't forget by Saturday lunchtime tomorrow, that's going to be southeast at 20. So you currently you've changed course to head to Minerva prior to Fiji to avoid what's coming. And you're at 2456-17854 with 13 knots of south-southeast. Sounds pretty good sailing at the moment, over.
Yes, it is. Over.
Okay, got all that. Thank you very much and enjoy Minerva. Have you been in there before?
No, we haven't, and we're looking forward to it. But now with the weather, we have decided to go to Minerva, so we're quite excited for the officers.
Yeah, It's a cool place to go to at least once in your cruising life. It's amazing
North
being
Minerva.
anchored out there in the middle of the ocean, and it will be fun with a few other boats around.
Drag a line.
Don't forget to drag a line when you go through the pass. It's absolutely impossible not to catch anything when you go through that pass. All right, and very good diving at the pass later on too. All right, the only trouble is if you've got a captain like I had, he would never put the dinghy in the water. So it was a long snorkel. He reckoned, well, of course, he tied the dinghy on the deck with about 3,000 different knots and ties. So it was quite an effort to put the dinghy in the water. But we were always lucky that other people had their dinghy in a more accessible position for dropping in the water. Okay, clear with Tumbleweed. Is there anybody else? All right, we'll finish the net now, and we will be back in August. Have a good time over this quieter period. I know there are people going from Tonga to Fiji when these winds settle down, or maybe not. It would be a quick trip if you left with these winds. But have a good time, and we'll be back again in August. And in the meantime, David's email address is ghradio@extra.co.nz. It's on the website, which is GH Radio. So don't worry about not writing that down. And the frequency is now over to Malua and iCandy. And then if you could find a frequency to go to in case other people might want to make contact. Cheers, everybody.
iCandy.